Lisa's going to prove me wrong. She's trying to prove me wrong
Not
here.
for the first time.
It is possible to read minds, apparently. According to Lisa, Halloween, the day of ghosts and spirits and the unexplainable. Someone supernatural now, a mind reader, joins us in the room. Morning, Atlas.
Hiya, how are you?
He's wearing a pinstriped three-piece brown suit.
Yes.
He's got a beard. He's an American.
I am indeed American, from the West Coast.
Some people say that you've sold your soul to the devil.
I haven't actually sold my soul. I mean, I should be clear about this, just in case the devil later on tries to claim it. But no, I haven't sold my soul to the devil. I think they say that because the things that I do are very difficult to explain otherwise.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I was on the fence about this. In my opinion, ghosts are something that you only hear in anecdotes from a friend of a friend of a friend. But I did a show where I was flown out to Alderney, which is one of the Channel Islands, and met a guy who was a funeral director. And this was just 2-3 weeks ago. It's interesting that you asked the question. He actually told me his own ghost story. He'd buried a lady about 4 or 5 years ago, and she wanted to be buried with her wedding ring. And the daughter came in, a few years later and said, I've been visited constantly by my mother in my dreams. She says she's not buried with this wedding ring. And he says, well, let's go check the file. So he goes and he pulls the file, and he opens it up, and there's a picture of the wedding ring. And the daughter says, yeah, that's it. But she's not buried with it. And he says, well, I don't know how we'd check now. And she says, do me a favor. I know you have an old disused safe that you've recently upgraded. You haven't used this safe in years. It's got 2 shelves on the inside. It's a black-fronted, big old safe. 2 shelves on the inside, and at the bottom is a drawer. My mother, in my dreams, has told me
Oh my God.
No.
that this ring was at the top shelf, and when some paperwork was put in right before her funeral, it knocked the ring to the back, underneath, and behind this drawer. And this guy's thinking to himself, she's never been into this office. This safe has never been open in front of her. There's no way she could know, but she's described it perfectly.
Yeah.
And that's why they thought the ring was buried with her, because when they checked the safe, it wasn't there. They thought someone had taken it and put it on. It was just an oversight. So he goes and he opens the safe.
Oh,
He checks
man.
the top shelf.
No.
Not there.
Oh.
Checks the middle shelf. Not there. He opens the drawer. Not in the drawer. And then he's getting like
think I know what's
goosebumps
gonna happen
now. Reaches behind
Yeah.
and pulls out this daughter's mother's wedding ring. And gave it back to her, and then, did a little ceremony and buried it. But after that, the mother stopped visiting her in the dreams.
Yeah.
And this was told to me by the guy. And he was, I want to emphasize, he was a straight shooter. A real straight shooter. He wasn't like these, sometimes you meet people and you think, I'm inclined to doubt because I think you're a little bit mad.
Yeah.
He was a straight shooter.
Right.
Wow, that's giving me goosebumps.
I'd rather the story have come from the woman, the daughter, because it's, as you've just said, that's a second hand. I know he was the guy who
It's third hand now, you've told us.
Yeah, now it's going to be one of these anecdotes that gets lost to humanity.
Right. Atlas is, would you say you're a mind reader?
Yeah, that's the way I think I advertise.
And that is the work of the devil, right?
It is not the work of the devil.
No, that is.
Right, so for Halloween, you're gonna read me and maybe try and guess what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And we're going to get to the bottom of this, and it's coming up next. Hallam FM, number 1 for Sheffield, Barnsley, Rotherham and Doncaster. It's Halloween. And we've got supernatural mind reader. Atlas is here. Atlas.
Hello.
Oh my goodness, how fit do you sound on the radio?
I think Americans tend to sound fit,
Yeah.
but don't forget, we're the most obese country in the
no,
world.
Not
so.
at all.
You can't say someone sounds fit to their face.
No.
Lisa.
You say you're going to blow my mind. Lisa and James have organised for me to have my mind blown.
Do me a favor, John. You're right across the booth from me. Just hold out your hands, please, just like this.
Right.
Relax them a little bit. Okay, and it's the left ring finger that dropped. That's the second finger. You can let your hands down now. But that's the second finger, right? Which suggests to me that 2 is your life number. If you were to put your fingers over a keyboard and type, 2 would be the number you would type with that. Oh, and you made a face, so we'll come back to that.
Wow.
I would expect you to be born in February, the 2nd month.
No way!
This is your life number. I'd expect you to have 2 children. Both with 2 X chromosomes, meaning that they'd both be daughters.
Well, you could have found that out.
Yeah, you could have found out.
Okay, I would expect, looking at the Roman numerals, 2 is 2 vertical lines, which look like 2 lowercase l's. I would expect the most significant relationships in your life to have 2 L's in their name.
Oh, now listen, this
Oh
is
my
good.
goodness, this is amazing.
No, 'cause
keep going.
Delith, if you're talking about, it's only got 1 L.
What about Tilly and Belle, both your daughters?
Sorry.
John.
Not my wife.
Carry on, go on.
Right, okay, no, that's good. With a number like 2 and a name like John, I would expect that your parents were very religious, more so than normal religious people, possibly even pursuing it as a vocation.
Right, yeah. My dad was a vicar, yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
This guy's good, John.
What?
And then with just a moment ago when I said if you imagine putting your fingers over a keyboard and type 2 with the number, you made a small face. Does type 2 mean something to you?
Type 2 diabetic. Wow.
Oh, this is really, really weird.
Very good.
Well, he could have Googled it all.
And that's fine. I'm used to things like that.
Yeah.
What I've got a little notepad here, and I want you to think of a picture to draw. But I don't want you to settle on the first picture. I want you to think of a second picture. Because number 2s, they tend to be deeper thinkers. They think of something once, and then they think it over again. Do you find that you're
possibly?
pretty
I love
good
that we're
decision
calling
maker?
him a number 2. This one.
Yeah.
Probably should have phrased that differently. I'm sorry.
No,
what I'm
stick with
going to
it.
have you do is I'm going to have you draw a picture, not of the first thing, but of the second thing that popped to mind.
Okay. How much detail do you want on this?
However much detail you want to put on there is fine. So right now, John's across from me in studio, his tongue hanging out as he's drawing his little picture
He
here.
does that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So do I show
tends
them?
to. If you want, you can show them. I'm going to look
Oh,
away.
let me see.
So I make sure I can't see anything.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When you're done, just shut the notepad.
I've shut the notepad.
And now the second thing is, Lisa, will you just take this here for me?
Yes.
And just hang on to it.
She's holding a book.
I've handed her a small pocket dictionary. Now, John, I'm handing you a big book. Now, this book has 300 or so pages of 500 words or so each page. There are 150,000 words. What I want you to do is I want you to open that book to any page that you want to.
Okay.
And choose a nice big long word. And then discard it. And choose the second nice big long word that you see.
Okay, so I'm opening up this big book and I find
He's
a
quite
big
good
bird
with long words. He
and
can
I'm
do long
discarding it.
words.
I've gone for the second one. I've got the second one.
We'll leave a pause here and we'll come back.
Oh my God! Okay. So I'm going to keep the big word to myself, am I?
Keep the big word to yourself.
Okay,
Don't tell anybody.
I've drawn a thing. He can't see the thing I've drawn. We're going to get to this. Can he really read my mind? Has he sold his soul to the devil? He is Atlas and he's next on Hallam FM. Number 1 for South Yorkshire. As it is Halloween, a day of ghosts and spirits and the unexplainable. Someone reading my aura, my mind, and my not going anywhere near my chakra. We've got this guy. He's a supernatural mind reader in. He's called Atlas. Morning, Atlas. Happy Halloween, everybody. I'm a bit freaked out now. So you're a mind reader.
Yeah.
It's atlasmentalism.com. You can find him on Facebook. He's on tour at the moment. And he's got me to draw the second thing that came into my head.
And the reason for that is because reading you just now, we determined that you're a life number of 2.
You're a number 2. You're a number 2.
He also got me to open up a book, choose a big word at random, and then discard that and choose the second biggest word at random out of this book.
And again, this is because of the 2 being significant.
So you know neither the picture or the word that is in my head now. Do you want these books and things back?
No, you hang on to them. What I want you to do is I just want you to look at me. And the important thing here is, again, you said, you could have just Googled it. You could have Googled it. I would expect someone like you, who is a life number of 2, to be driven by these secondary decisions, the ones that you've really thought about, as opposed to the impulse decisions that you make. So I want you to imagine that I don't get it right now. I don't get your picture right. We'll work on your picture first. I don't get the picture right at all. I'm walking down the road 3 weeks from now, and you spot me. And you're in a shop, and you're a little bit annoyed that I don't get it right. And so you run out of the shop, and you shout down the street, "Hey, Atlas, you haven't told me I've drawn." And in your mind, I want you to now try and transmit what you've drawn. In your mind, just look at me and just imagine shouting, "Atlas, you didn't tell me I drew a Christmas tree."
Oh, man alive. No!
Atlas, that's what he's drawn.
That is what he's
drawn it.
That's a Christmas tree.
Wow.
Well, it's sort of a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
With baubles on
with
it.
baubles and...
How did he do that?
That's amazing.
Now, I handed Liesl earlier a little pocket dictionary.
Yes.
Just because when you chose your word, I didn't want it to be in my hands at all.
Okay.
Can you look your word up in that dictionary? I want you to just flip through it casually first and just see there's not millions of words circled. There's, in fact, only one word circled in this dictionary.
It's alphabetical in a dictionary, John.
Yeah,
It is
go alphabetical, John.
alphabetical. That's a hard word to say. isn't it?
Coffee house, he circled it! No way!
And I think
let
you'll
me
find
see.
it's the only circled word
see.
in that
Hold it
dictionary.
It's got a green
Oh, my
highlight, coffee
days.
house.
Coffee house.
And that was the word that I
Nothing
found in this
else.
other book.
That is the word that you picked in the other book that you just looked at.
Yeah.
That's the second word.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is the other book full
And
of
you
lots
had
of
a
other
free
words?
choice.
Every single page has got coffee house. No, it hasn't. How do you do that?
Well, it's essentially. I can't emphasize this enough. Not sold my soul to the devil.
Right.
As glamorous as that might sound,
That's
it
amazing.
really is just
That
the
is
ability to work with people and communicate like you do, but in a different way.
That is amazing.
You read your mind.
God, amazing. A round of applause.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Brilliant.
That's freaked me out. That's amazing.
What am I thinking now?
You're thinking it's time to go to some music.
Yes.
And here's some music. Hallam FM. It's a trick, innit? It's just a trick, right?
No. You read your mind. So you were here, weren't you, for the last, like, 20 minutes?
Eh?
Are you scared?
No, it's a trick.
It's not
I'm a
a
bit scared.
trick. He
Scared.
knew what you drew.
Quite scary. It's a nice bloke, but he's scary, isn't he?
He's lovely.
Atlas.
He's creepy, isn't he?
Yeah, I've just tweeted his thing, Atlas. You can go and see his Atlas Mentalism. Ooh.
I'd hate to be married to him. He'd know everything, wouldn't he?